And a very pleasant good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to another edition of Henley Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on MyBasin.com. The league season is over, but one more regular season contest brings the Hornets to the Rogue Valley here at Lithium Driveway Field number 9 to take on the Cascade Christian Challengers. My name is Josh Eldridge, glad to be with you today. Henley with a 21-3 overall record, Cascade Christian with a 21-5 overall record, one of the top teams in the 3A classification. They are number 2 to end the season, going up against Henley, who is number 5 themselves in the 4A classification. And for the third straight season, wrapped up an unbeaten Skyline Conference slate. Familiar meeting between the Hornets and the Challengers have yet to play this season, but lots of history between these two teams over the last couple of years, traditionally playing in games like this one. Today is an OSAA endowment game, meaning that all the proceeds collected from the gate and other revenue streams are donated back to the OSAA Foundation. And the OSAA Foundation distributes their money to try to help underprivileged athletes and schools be able to get athletic gear and cover fees to play sports and things of that nature. So today's proceeds going back to the OSAA Foundation. As the Challengers take the field, we'll take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll introduce you to the Kyle's Lawn Care starting lineups for both teams. That's coming up next on MyBasin.com.
Parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Welcome you back in the top of the first inning of a game already in progress. First pitch and a fly out to Henley's leadoff hitter, Mark Carpenter, is how we get things started today. Mark Carpenter is followed in the lineup by the left-handed shortstop, Connor Shively. Jacoby Takini bats third. Max Price, the center fielder, hitting cleanup. Bo Pyle, the pitcher, bats fifth today for Henley's. The first pitch to Shively is fouled off. The count to him is 0-1. After Pyle in the order, Derek Cox, the second baseman, hits sixth. Batting seventh is Corbin Hamilton, the first baseman. Carson Sims in right field bats eighth, and Ryan Douglas bats ninth, the left fielder for Henley. A chopper down the first base line is fielded in fair territory by Alvarez down at first, and two quick outs for the Hornets in the top of the first brings up Jacoby Takini. Those starting lineups brought to you by Kyle's Lawn Care. As Henley going up against Grady Sickler on the mound for Cascade Christian. We'll take a look at the statistical output for Sickler here in just a moment. The 0-1 pitch misses below the knees. The count 1-1. For Sickler this season, he is making his 11th start of the year as he fires in a high fastball. The count 2-1. Sickler with a 9-1 record coming into the game today. 50 innings pitched for him and an ERA of 1.82. Line drive back towards second base, over the head of the second baseman Walker and into right center field. Takini, a big turnaround first, but he'll stay there, and a two-out single has Henley a base runner in the first inning. And so now it's Max Price due up for the Hornets as Porter Frost will come on in and run for Takini, as has been customary this season. Max Price this season for Henley is batting .319 as he takes a ball. The count is 1-0. Take a look around the diamond for Cascade Christian, the challengers in their yellow tops with purple lettering and numbers across their back. It spells challengers across their chest with white trim and white pants. As the 1-0 misses upstairs, the count 2-0. Maben is catching for Cascade Christian today. Hurley at third, Bonner at short, Walker at second, and Alvarez at first. In the outfield from left to right, it's Willard, Crisp, and Madden. The count is 2-0 to Max Price. A move over to first, and Frost is back safely. Frost has had a heck of a season on the base paths. We've touched on it a little bit. 27 runs scored for him this year. Second on the team in stolen bases with 15 stolen bases this season as Price takes a strike there, 2-1. That's for a guy who primarily just runs on this team over there at first in Porter Frost. He plays his limited role very well. Max Price again settles back in ahead in the count. 2 balls and a strike against Sickler. Comes set, another move over to first, and diving back safely is Porter Frost. After Price in the Henley order, it's Bo Pyle. Set on the mound is Sickler. And the pitch is an upstairs fastball. Price a bit late on it. Fouls it off, though. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's a warm day here in the Rogue Valley. 69 degrees and sunny. It's going to stay probably that warm for the duration tonight. Plays a little bit warmer on the artificial turf surface, but overall just a great day for baseball here in Medford. The 2-2 is a curveball, froze up Price. He goes down looking to end the first inning. 1 base hit for the Hornets, but they can't turn it into any runs. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning scoreless on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Live free video on mybasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Preparing for the bottom of the first inning, still scoreless between Henley and Cascade Christian in this endowment game for the OSAA Foundation. Take a look at the starting lineup for the Cascade Christian Challengers. Byron Walker is the second baseman. He leads off, followed by C.J. Bonner, the shortstop, batting second. Grady Sickler, the pitcher, hits third, followed by Wyatt Hurley, the third baseman, batting cleanup. Carson Willard is in left field. He bats fifth. Andy Alvarez, the first baseman, hitting sixth for Cascade Christian. Mikey Covey is the designated hitter. He bats seventh. Taven Madden is in right field. He bats eighth. And Nash Crisp is in center field. And he bats ninth for Cascade Christian. Going up against Bo Pyle on the mound, making his 8th start of the season. Carries a 6-0 record through 37 2/3 innings of work. An ERA of 1.67 for the Henley right-hander, making his final appearance in the regular season this year. Pyle awaits. Pitch misses downstairs. Count is 2-1. And that one finds the zone. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Grady Sickler. 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. That one misses in the turf, and now the count is full to Sickler. In danger of giving out a 2-out base runner, and the pitch from Pyle is going to be fought off by Sickler. Nice job there, and the count is still full. 3-2. Another fastball fouled off, and the count remains full. Pyle again working out of the windup. Tall batting stance for Sickler from the right side. And the pitch is bounced back up towards the middle over the head of Pyle, but Shively plays it from short. Strong throw to first is in time, and the Challengers down in order in their half of the first. To the second we go scoreless here on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Back with you for the top of the second inning. Apologies for any interruptions you may have been experiencing on mybasin.com. Should be back and ready to go now, scoreless in the top of the second inning. And it will be Bo Pyle leading things off for Henley, followed by Derek Cox, then Corbin Hamilton. That's 5, 6, and 7 in the Henley order. First pitch is upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Might have been a breaking ball from Sickler. Didn't break enough. And Pyle gets ahead in the count here. Another pitch on the way from Sickler. This one is hit in the air to the right side. Right fielder coming in. That's going to drop in front of Madden. Leadoff single here for Bo Pyle. It's the Hornets started in the second inning. Now for Henley is Derek Cox, the freshman. Derek batting .364 this season for Henley with 11 RBI and 11 runs scored. He's been consistent this season for the Hornets as a call-up from the junior varsity roster about partway through the season, pretty much right as they started league play. It was a road trip over to Phoenix on April 19th where Derek made his varsity debut and has since played very well. And that includes the last series against Mazama, where in the final game of that series he finished 2 for 3 with 3 RBI. And I believe a triple in that contest as well. And then even back on Monday against Phoenix, Derek was 1 for 4, but he scored a run. And here he takes a ball. Runner on first is Bo Pyle. And the 1-0 pitch on the way to Derek Cox. He swings and misses at an upstairs fastball. Mabin tries to backpick Pyle at first, but he is back safely, and the count is even. A ball and a strike to Derek Cox. Sean Teeter's offering up signs in the third base coaching box. He's joined on the Henley coaching staff by Marvin Rosser down the first base side, and in the dugout by Joe Tacchini, Pete Whistler, and Craig Connor. And the Cascade Christian coaching staff, as far as Medford sports go, might have as many notable names on it as this Henley one does for Klamath Falls baseball. Of course, Kevin Schaefer, their head coach, as Derek Cox takes a pitch outside, the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Schaefer has coached, feels like, just about everywhere you can here in the Rogue Valley, from Medford to Grants Pass. Of course, Clark Bonner is an assistant coach here, Jay Segura, and of course Nate Mabin, who's a longtime baseball person here in the Rogue Valley, coached the Medford Mustangs American Legion baseball team for a number of seasons and led them to 7 or 8 state championships at the American Legion level. and he's an assistant here for the Challengers. Counts a ball and 2 strikes to Cox, and this one's a curveball, lifts it high in the air, center field, looks playable for Crisp. Has to back up a little bit, but settles underneath it to make the catch for the first out. So Pyle remains at first, and now in steps the Henley first baseman, Corbin Hamilton. Hamilton this season for Henley is batting .305. Keeps his hands low as he awaits the first pitch from Sickler. Here it comes. That one's a 2-seamer, misses outside. Count is a ball and no strikes. To Corbin with Carson Sims waiting on deck for Henley. Henley in their traditional uniforms that they've worn everywhere this season. Navy blue tops, Henley written across their chest in navy blue lettering with yellow trim, and white numbers across their back with gray pants. Another attempt down at Pyle, down to first, and I believe that's actually, is that Chase Barrett perhaps? Alex Smith. Okay, thank you. Not on the roster, but we'll take it. Smith aboard at first. And the pitch on the way to Hamilton is in the zone, over the plate, around the knees. And the count is now 2-1. Hamilton's done well with runners on base this year. He's got 16 RBI, which would put him about tied for 4th best on the team, although there's a fairly significant drop-off between 3 and 4. Here he swings and misses at the pitch that's upstairs. The count 2-2. Well, Hamilton has 16, along with Ryan Douglas, both with 16. Next best on the team would be Bo with 26. Set is Sickler, kicks and fires. Outside fastball will run the count full. 3-2. Runner on first base and 1 out for Henley. Still scoreless in this endowment game between the 4A Hornets and the 3A Challengers. Sickler takes a look at Smith before coming set. Now delivers. That pitch missed high, maybe a touch outside. And Hamilton will take a walk. 2 runners on here for Carson Sims. Sims batting .415 this year for Henley. Settles in here from the right side. Maben delivering the sign to Sickler, and he comes set. Now the pitch over the middle of the plate. Sims sends it back up the middle. Fielded by Bonner at short. Toss on to second for 1. And they're not going to get Sims at first. But now caught in a pickle between third and home is Smith. He's heading back to third. The catcher Maben fakes the throw and then gets him tagging out as he stutter steps trying to get back to third. And that will end the inning. Henley unable to come away with a run after 2 on and 1 out, but a double play will end the inning. We go to the bottom of the second, still scoreless here on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
It starts to warm up outside, it's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Kyle's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Ready to go for the bottom of the second inning between Cascade Christian and Henley. Still scoreless today. Set up this half inning is Wyatt Hurley, Carson Willard, and Andy Alvarez. That's 4, 5, 6 in the challenger order up against Bo Pyle. Here's the first pitch. It's a fastball. A check swing gets shoved down the first base line. It's going to wind up foul. And sort of a lucky break there, all things considered, for Wyatt Hurley. If that ball didn't kick foul, he would have been in bad shape there. Probably would have been a routine ground out. But because it kicked foul, he gets a second life here. So he's just down 0-1 in the count against Bo Pyle. Hurley, the starting third baseman for the Challengers. Hurley this season batting .272 for Cascade Christian. As he fouls off the next pitch, the count is 0-2. Like we said, Cascade Christian finishing as the number 2 best team in the 3A classification. That's according to the OSAA rankings. But you look at the numbers, and it really backs up that number 2 ranking for Cascade Christian. And the 0-2 is swung on and missed. Pyle pulls the string there on Hurley, gets him swinging for the first out. And now it's Carson Willard to bat from the left side for Cascade Christian. We'll take a look at the individual numbers for him and then continue talking about Cascade Christian as a unit this year. Willard batting .316 for the Challengers this year. First pitch is rolled down the first base line. That one will also kick foul, and the count is 0-1. Cascade Christian, the league champions from the Southern Oregon Conference. They will be joined by North Valley, I believe, in the automatic bids out of that conference. The 3A playoffs work a little bit differently than the 4A playoffs do. We'll kind of talk about that here in a minute, as both these teams are postseason bound. The 0-1 misses. The count, a ball and a strike. This pitch from Pyle also misses high. The count is 2-1. So unlike in the 4A, the 3A state tournament is actually a 20-team bracket, where in the case of the Southern Oregon Conference, 3 teams make it out. Well, pardon me, 2 teams make it out. Like I said, Cascade Christian and North Valley, along with South Umpqua, Glide, Warrenton, Horizon Christian, Banks, Burns, Vale, McLaughlin, Blanchett Catholics, Taft, Sandium Christian. They've all made the playoffs, as the 2-2 is looked at for strike 3, and down goes Carson Willard. Back-to-back Ks for Bo Pyle to begin the inning. We'll bring up Andy Alvarez. Cascade Christian has been very, very good this season. First pitch misses upstairs to Alvarez. The count is 1-0. They're the number 2 best team. They've scored the second most runs, and they've allowed the second fewest runs, as the 1-0 misses downstairs. The count 2-0. The only team that they're behind is the number 1 ranked team in the 3A class, and that's Blanchett Catholic, who is 25-0 this season. So the 2-0 misses downstairs. The count now 3-0. Kind of feels like those teams are on some kind of collision course for the state championship game this year. Would be excited to watch that one. The 3-0 finds the inside corner. Pyle battling back. The count 3-1 to Andy Alvarez. Still scoreless at the bottom of the second inning between the Challengers and the Hornets. Here's the 3-1 from Pyle. That one is going to miss and will be a walk to Andy Alvarez, bringing up Mikey Covey. Challengers have a couple of notable wins this season, including wins over common opponents with Henley. They beat Phoenix in the second game of the year, 8-0. The first pitch on the way to Covey is going to find the zone. Might have been a changeup there from Pyle that just dropped in there. The count is 0-1 to Covey, the designated hitter who is hitting in the order for the Cascade Christian catcher, which would be Tucker Mabin, fellow freshman. Count 0-1 to Covey, and Pyle is set. Here's the delivery. That one finds the zone. A nice job by Tacchini to frame that one up nicely. Might have stolen a strike there for Pyle, and the count is 0-2. Small lead off of first from Alvarez, and the pitch. That one will miss high. The count, a ball and 2 strikes. Along with defeating Phoenix this year, Cascade Christian has also defeated Hidden Valley 6-5. They did lose to Junction City twice, a team in which Henley split with, as We'll hold the thought right there as a big curveball and a 1-2 count wound up getting Covey swinging to end the inning. So mixing a walk in there, but Pyle collecting 3 strikeouts in the second inning, sending us to a scoreless top of the third here on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
mybasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Be 9-1-2 this half inning for Henley as we are scoreless in the top of the third inning. The Hornets take on the Cascade Christian Challengers. First pitch swinging for Ryan Douglas. High fly ball in foul territory. Winds up out of play. The count is 0-1 to Douglas. Like I said, he'll be followed by Carpenter and then Connor Shively. Well, this is the final regular season game for Henley this year. They carry a 7-game winning streak coming into this contest against Cascade Christian. Another pop fly in foul territory. This one could be playable, and in fact, again, the first baseman Alvarez will run out of space, and so the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Henley picked up series sweeps of Hidden Valley, Mazama, and then they won a single game against Phoenix coming into this contest. They've got a playoff game on May 27th. Henley will host that playoff game. Now, exactly who they'll host is still up in the air as Ryan Douglas settles back in for the 0-2. This is a curveball that's hit on the ground left side and through into the outfield for a leadoff single for Ryan Douglas. Kept his hands back on the breaking ball and got a base hit for his hard work. Leadoff single on the third brings you back up top to Mark Carpenter. Mark Carpenter, of course, in his senior year, having a fantastic season, leading the team in average at .455. And, second on the team in average at .455. Wasn't exactly full the way loaded. He's just a couple points behind Connor Shively for the team lead. But he does lead the team in extra base hits this season and home runs. 11 doubles and 4 homers for Mark Carpenter. A runner on first. Nobody out, and he awaits the first pitch. Take a look at a strike there, 0-1. Carpenter maybe thought that was a little bit high, but he can afford to be patient. Carpenter has a pretty good 2-strike approach. His 5 strikeouts tied for fewest on the team with a handful of other Hornets players. His team doesn't strike out often, so some patience early in the at-bat might pay dividends. Here's a line drive center field. That one is caught in center. Nash Crisp, oh man, leaping, reaching over his head to bring in that catch. And stealing a sure thing extra base hit for Mark Carpenter for the first out in the third inning. So Connor Shively will try to move Ryan Douglas over from first. Shively 0 for 1 in this contest. He grounded out to first to start the game, but like I said earlier, didn't mean to take it away from him. He is the team leader in batting average, hitting .483 to start the season. Here he takes a pitch high and away for ball 1. Wanted to continue talking about the playoff outlook for the Henley Hornets. Like I said, don't quite know who they are going to play yet. It'll be one of the play-in teams most likely out of the 4A classification. Henley, along with Hidden Valley, or the automatic qualifiers out of the Skyline Conference for the 16 team OSAA 4A playoffs. Shively, line drive the other way. That rattles down the line fair. Douglas will wind up at second, and a one-out base hit puts 2 runners on for Jacoby Tacchini. Tacchini 1 for 1 today. He singled with 2 outs in the first. He's going to try to add another base hit here. Like I said, conference leader in RBIs, got 34 runs batted in this season. And he is second on the team in singles this year. Bats .439. Here's the pitch to Tacchini. He'll take a look at a pitch that misses low. And the count is 1-0. So there are 4 play-in games going on over the next couple of days. I believe most of them being played today in the 4A class. The pitch to Tacchini, hit high in the air, right field. Right fielder Madden moving towards the line. He will make the catch deep in the outfield, deep enough so that Douglas can tag from second and make it into third, putting runners at the corners for 2 outs for Max Price. Price 0 for 1 today, struck out in the first inning. So the play-in games in the 4A class. Skyline Conference opponent Phoenix is playing North Bend. North Marion is playing St. Helens. Baker and the Powder Valley Co-op, they're playing Gladstone. And Marshfield plays Staten. So 4 of those 8 teams will also make the 16-team playoff as Price takes a pitch upstairs. The count is 1-0. Aboard at first is Shively. Douglas is over at third, and here's the pitch home. That one is in there, in around the knees, maybe a bit below the knees to Price. But over the plate, the count is 1-1. After Price, if the inning continues, it's Bo Pyle. And Sickler will step off. Sickler hasn't missed the barrel too much today. Henley has hit him around the park, but good defense for Cascade Christian has so far kept the game scoreless. Another move over to first and back safely is Shively. He's a guy you want to keep an eye on, even with the runner at third, and maybe especially with the runner at third. Shively has 23 stolen bases this season. He hasn't been caught once. Sickler is set. The pitch. Breaking pitch misses outside, and the count now 2 balls and a strike to Max Price. Hitting cleanup for the majority of this year as Max Price. Not a lot of RBI to show for it, though. Only 10 runs batted in, but he scores himself. 17 runs scored this year. Fastball misses high to him there. The count is 3-1 to Max Price. That elevated fastball is a hard pitch to lay off, but Price doing a good job of it. Now in a definite hitter's count, ahead 3-1. Sickler set. Catcher Mabin sets the target, and the pitch is fouled off behind first, and so the count is full. Going to see some movement in the infield, too. Connor Shively likely to be on the move in a full count pitch with 2 outs. And you give him a head start, a ball in the gap could score him. Big pitch coming up here as Sickler wants to keep this a scoreless ball game. The 3-2 home is a curveball bounce towards second. Up with it is Walker. Throw on to second is in time. Price almost beating out the infield single, but instead will go to the bottom of the third inning, still scoreless. Henley a couple base hits, but they leave them both stranded. Bottom of the third next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Getting ready for the bottom of the third inning from field number 9 at Lithium Driveway Fields in Medford, Oregon. This endowment game between the Hornets and the Challengers is still scoreless. Due up this half for Cascade Christian, it's Taven Madden, Nash Crisp, and Bryson Walker. That's 8, 9, and 1 in the Challenger order. Bo Pyle into the third inning of his start today as the first pitch into Madden is swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. Madden, another one of the seniors that was honored today here at Cascade Christian for his senior day, swings and misses at strike 2. Madden stands tall in the right-handed box. He takes a pitch low, the count 1-2. No listed heights on the roster for Cascade Christian, but that is one tall guy in the right-handed batter's box. Here's the 1-2. Curveball looked at, strike 3. Pyle froze him up and sends him packing for the first out in the third. 4 strikeouts now for Pyle in the game, and it brings up Nash Crisp. Crisp, a junior, bats from the left side. And, boy, he made a fantastic catch in center field during the last inning. Saved probably what would have ended up being a run, considering how the rest of the inning played out. Starts in center field, had his back turned, running after the ball, and leapt to catch it. As he swings and misses at a pitch there, the count is now 0-2 after he took the opening pitch of the at-bat. Crisp on the season for Cascade Christian, only batting 175. Here's the pitch. That's looked at for a ball inside. Count a ball and 2 strikes. Pyle, I think, tried to slot the 2-seamer in there, but just didn't break back enough away from the lefty, and he took it for ball 1. Comes back with the 1-2. There's that curveball, but it doesn't break enough, and Pyle lets the count go even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck next for the Challengers is Bryson Walker, the leadoff hitter. Pitch from Pyle is fought off by Crisp, stays alive, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nash awaits the pitch. It is looked at for a ball, and the count is full to the Cascade Christian center fielder. Well, like I said, Cascade Christian, they are the Southern Oregon Conference champions as strike 3 is looked at for Nash Crisp, and that's 5 Ks for Pyle in this game. And now 2 outs in the third. Back to the top of the order for Cascade Christian, it's Bryson Walker. As he settles in, Walker, the starting second baseman today for Cascade Christian. And we're Jacoby Tacchini signaling towards the Henley dugout, kind of waving his finger around from behind the dish. Not quite sure what it was. Bo Pyle stepped off for a moment, and it seems as though he was ready to go again. He misses high with a curveball on the first pitch. The count is 1-0 to Bryson Walker. Here's a hard hit ball to third. Carpenter snags it. He makes a strong throw across the diamond in time, and the Challengers down in order in the third. To the top of the fourth we go, still scoreless between the Hornets and Cascade Christian High School. Back after this on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Josh Eldridge back with you here on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Getting ready for the top of the fourth inning. Still scoreless. For Henley, no runs on 4 hits, no errors. Henley has left 4 runners on base today. For Cascade Christian, no runs, no hits, no errors, but they have left 2 runners on base. Bo Pyle starts things off with a bouncing ball to third. Up with it is Hurley. Throw on to first is in time. 1 pitch and 1 out here in the fourth inning, and this will bring up Derek Cox. Derek today is 0 for 1, flew out to center field in the second inning. Pitch on the way from Sickler is hit in the air again towards center field. Going back is Crisp. It is carrying, and he makes the catch near the warning track for the second out. You'd think a sunny day here in Medford, that one might travel a little longer, but it is a loud second out in the fourth inning, bringing up Corbin Hamilton. Hamilton is without an official at-bat today. He did walk in the second inning. And the pitch on the way from Sickler, a curveball, loops it in there for strike 1. Nice pitch from Sickler. Started sort of in on the hands of Hamilton, only to break back into the zone. The 0-1, a fastball, dips below the zone. Might have actually been a changeup from Sickler. Regardless, it missed downstairs. Count even to Hamilton with Carson Sims waiting on deck. Pitch from Hamilton, hit air and foul. The count is 1-2. Sickler trying to find a put-away pitch and make this a quick inning for Cascade Christian. Here's a ground ball back to him. Tried to barehand it, but got by. The shortstop, Bonner, will make a throw, but it won't be in time. Hamilton beats out the infield single, and that'll bring up Carson Sims with a runner on first and 2 away. It's just a ground ball right back up the middle, but that goes to show you don't have to hit the ball particularly hard to get on base. It's almost enough for Sickler to barehand it, but it was just out of his reach. Allowed Hamilton to beat out the infield single. Now the first pitch to Sims will miss high. The count is 1-0. Sims so far today reached on a fielder's choice in the second inning, but it was an odd play that wound up ending the second inning when a runner was overextended down the third base line. Here Sims hits one in the air. Right center field could be trouble. That drops in front of Madden. Hamilton burning around second and heads to third. The throw into the infield goes wild, and Sims takes advantage and winds up at second. 2 in scoring position now for Ryan Douglas. So call it a base hit for Sims, and advancing on the error as Hamilton advances to third and Douglas to bat now. Big opportunity for Henley to try to break our scoreless tie. Douglas pops one up foul behind home plate, and the count is 0-1. Douglas batting .290 this year, 16 RBI for him on the season, and 2 more waiting for him with 2 outs in the top of the fourth. Sickler shakes off Maben in the first offering, agreeable for the second sign, but lines up missing the pitch high. The count is even. 1-1 to Douglas. The lineup turns over next for Henley with Mark Carpenter on deck. Pitch on the way from Sickler. A curveball, ground ball left side through for a base hit. Hamilton will score. Sims has the brakes thrown on him, has to really hit the brakes at third, and he is going to be safe there. Advancing into second on the throw is Ryan Douglas. Henley breaks our tie. They're up 1-0 in the top of the fourth inning. And after that base hit, here is Mark Carpenter with 2 in scoring position. Carpenter 0 for 2 today, both deep fly balls to the outfield. It unfortunately has been the case for Mark these last few games. He's been hitting the ball real hard right at people, but just got to understand, sometimes in baseball, that's just part of the process. Here's the first pitch to Carpenter. Takes a curveball that got by the catcher, Maben. Sims breaking for the plate. He will score. And Douglas advances to third on the play, and Henley leads 2-0 It's 1-0 to the plate to Carpenter, and a runner on third is Ryan Douglas. Carpenter ahead in the count, 1-0. That one misses upstairs. The count now 2-0. The fascinating thing is that even through these past about 4 or 6 games for Mark, he's still gotten base hits in all of these games. He's on a 5-game hitting streak. The pitch to him here is a curveball, misses high, and even still, you think he's probably left some on the table just because he's been hitting it right at guys. Nothing you can really do about it, but he's seeing the ball well and hoping to see that batting average get boosted for his hard work. Here's the 3-0 pitch to Carpenter. Pops that one up foul. The count 3-1. Back on Tuesday this week, Carpenter, along with 7 other Henley athletes, had their signing day where Carpenter committed to Lynn Benton Community College, where he'll play next year. As he settles back in for the 3-1. Here's the pitch. Curveball. Carpenter takes it the other way. Deep fly ball, but foul. And the count is now full to the Henley third baseman. After Carpenter, it's Connor Shively in the Henley order. Runner at third is Ryan Douglas. Henley leads 2-0 in the top of the 4th inning. Pitch on the way from Sickler is in the turf and again gets by the catcher Maben. Douglas slides in safely and he will score. And that was ball 4 as well to Carpenter. He'll stay put at first. Henley now leads 3-0 in the 4th inning. Well, it won't necessarily help the batting average, but an RBI attributed to Carpenter there. I'm sure he'll take that. And that is RBI number 28 on the season for Mark, bringing up Connor Shively. Shively line drive, center field, base hit. Carpenter, turnaround second. He's going to stay put. And now 2 on, still with 2 outs in the inning. And Jacoby Tacchini bats now for Henley. 2-out rally's been brewing. Henley continues to get him on. And this will trigger head coach Kevin Schaefer to emerge from the Cascade Christian dugout. I'm not sure if this will be a change or just a brief visit, but we'll take the time to remind you that this game is brought to you in part by the Pacific Power Foundation, who's donated nearly $70,000 in 2024 to organizations like the Oregon Tech Foundation, Klamath County School District, and the Ross Ragland Theater. Big thanks to the Pacific Power Foundation for coming aboard for this season of Henley Baseball. Well, I got to say the Evil Empire's theme music as your own coach comes out to visit on the mound is certainly a choice. As a Star Wars fan, I like it, but this is definitely Emperor Palpatine's theme music. Connor Shively will bat as Grady Sickler stays in the game. Runner at first is Mark Carpenter, and Connor Shively aboard at first after a base hit. It's been a great 2-out rally so far for Henley. After 2 quick outs to start the inning, Corbin Hamilton, Carson Sims, and Ryan Douglas all singled. Mark Carpenter walked, and Shively followed it up with a single of himself, allowing 3 Hornets runs to score this inning. And now Tacchini a chance to continue it with a base hit. Here he'll take strike 1. So far for Tacchini, he is 1 for 2. He singled in the first and flew out in the third. Sickler is set. Takes a look at the runner out at second. Now the delivery is in the turf, blocked this time by Maben. Keeps it in front of him, and the count is now a ball and a strike. After Tacchini in the order, it's Max Price. Tacchini is the 8th player to bat this half inning for Henley. Sickler taking his time out there, shakes off the first few options delivered to him by Maben, and that's going to trigger Jacoby Tacchini to call time at the plate. You'll see hitters do that, and it takes too long for the pitcher to throw. They want to call time, make sure they're not thinking too hard in the batter's box. You start thinking too hard, bad things tend to happen. Instead, Jacoby clears his mind and sends one out to short. Throw on to second is in time to get Shively, one of the runners out there, and that will end the inning. But now before Henley scores 3 runs on 4 hits, they leave 2 stranded, but they take the lead 3-0 to the bottom of the 4th next on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Josh Eldridge back with you from Field 9 at Lithium Driveway Fields in beautiful Medford, Oregon. Henley leading Cascade Christian 3-0. Due up this half for the challengers, C.J. Bonner, Grady Sickler, and Wyatt Hurley. Bo Pyle still out there on the mound. He's been cruising right along through 3 innings out there on the mound. Hasn't allowed a base hit. But it's up to C.J. Bonner to try and change things for Cascade Christian. Bonner 0 for 1 today. He grounded out to third in his first at-bat. Bonner on the season, second on the team in hitting, batting .470 this year for the Challengers. He gets his second look at Bo Pyle here. First pitch is a fastball, two-seamer, started outside, broke back over the middle, and called strike one. Nice pitch there from Pyle. Bonner awaiting the 0-1. Here's the pitch. Same pitch, same spot, and the count is 0-2 to Bonner. Again, Sickler is on deck for Cascade Christian, trying to answer the call as Henley plated 3 runs in the top half of this inning. Pitch on the way from Pyle. That one is in the dirt. To be a slider or a breaking pitch of some variety that missed. Count is a ball and 2 strikes to Bonner. All-conference athlete out of the Southern Oregon Conference awaits the pitch from Pyle. Curveball just missed outside, and the count is 2-2. Nice job by Bonner to lay off a tough pitch and a 2-strike count. Broke across the plate and wound up missing outside off the plate about belt high. That's, like I said, a good pitch to lay off. Pyle tries to get him again. This time the fastball misses. That's not a hard pitch to lay off. Wasn't anywhere near the zone, and so the count goes full now to the leadoff hitter here in the 4th inning. Challengers have only had one other base runner today, and it was on a walk. Here's the 3-2, fly ball foul, and we'll do it again. Cascade Christian will get a bye in the first round of the OSAA playoffs so long as they remain ranked number 2. And they won't have to play a playoff game until Wednesday next week. Here's the pitch. It's a line drive, center field deep. Carrying Price going back near the wall, makes the catch. And that is the first out in the 4th inning, bringing up Grady Sickler. Sickler also 0 for 1 today. Well, trying to help himself out a little bit. The starting pitcher for Cascade Christian allowed 3 runs to come across. Now, by my count, I believe only 2 of those runs are earned. In fact, none of them might be earned. I'll have to double check on that as he takes a pitch low, and the count is 1-0. Sickler, like I said, grounded out to short in his first at-bat in the first inning. This pitch from Pyle looked at for a strike. Way to get back in there, and the count is even at 1. First round of the 3A playoffs actually set to begin on Monday. And the 26th, as Pyle finds the zone there on the 1-1, the count 1-2. And the second round of the playoffs will begin on the 28th, 30th. The 3rd is the semifinals, and of course June 7th is the state championship game for all high schools. As count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. The OSAA has split up a little bit where the baseball state championships have been played over the last few years. Here's a fly ball right field. Moving in is Sims, and he'll make the catch for the second out. Traditionally, the baseball state championships have been played at Kaiser Volcano Stadium in Salem. But a couple years ago, when Cascade Christian made the state championship game, a game in which they lost to Banks, they actually played at PK Park, where the Oregon Ducks play and are likely to host a regional in the NCAA postseason. First pitch to Wyatt Hurley is a curveball that misses upstairs, the count 1-0. Hurley struck out in his first at-bat in the second inning. Here he hits with 2 away in the bottom of the fourth. Henley leads Cascade Christian 3-0. That pitch misses low as well, 2-0. And so no real idea where the state championship games will be played quite yet. Now, last year, the 4A tournament was played at Kaiser Volcano Stadium as the 2-0 pitch finds the zone, 2-1. Whereas the softball state championship has always been played at Jane Sanders Stadium at the University of Oregon. Here's the 2-1. That pitch misses in the turf. 2-2, the count to Wyatt Hurley. And the Henley softball team looking to make it back there as they have also qualified for the 16-team 4A playoff. They'll also play at home on May 27th, where we will have your coverage. Popped up, could be playable behind home plate, and in fact will land in the first row. And so the count remains 2-2. Pretty good set of bleachers, a fair turnout of fans here at field number 9 at Lithia Driveway Fields. Pretty good contingent of Hornets fans, as Henley usually travels well, but appreciate you choosing our broadcast today on mybasin.com. And here, of course, in Medford, a great showing for Cascade Christian Challenger fans as well. The 2-2 misses high, the count's full. Like I said, it was, that'll actually be a walk. Must have missed a pitch there, and Hurley is aboard at first, bringing up Carson Willard. Second walk issued by Pyle today. As Willard steps in, he is 0 for 1. Willard struck out in the second inning in his only other plate appearance so far. Waits the first pitch from Bo Pyle, who comes set and delivers. Pop fly in foul territory behind third. Mark Carpenter will move over and he will make the catch, and that will end the inning. No runs, no hits, one left for the Challengers in the fourth. We'll go to the fifth, where Henley leads 3-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Three 3-0 our score in the top of the fifth inning, where Henley leads Cascade Christian. Max Price leading things off for the Hornets in the fifth inning. He takes a pitch upstairs 1-0. It'll be Max Price, Bo Pyle, Derek Cox due up this half inning for Henley. That's 4, 5, and 6 in the order. Pitch from Sickler, hit straight away center field. Crisp over to his right a couple of steps, and he'll put that one away for the first out. Bo Pyle stepping in now for Henley. Pyle 1 for 2 today. He singled in the second and grounded out in the fourth. It was the fourth inning in which Henley scored all 3 of their runs, but all the offense in that inning came with 2 outs. Pyle actually led off that inning, like I said, with a ground out. Here he gets a chance to start a rally with 1 away in the fifth. As he takes a pitch low, the count is 1-0. On the mound, Pyle has done a nice job today, trying to get a rally started with the stick here. He'll take a pitch inside 2-0. Pyle has not yet allowed a base hit in his outing so far, and has only allowed 2 base runners. A couple of walks delivered to Cascade Christian, but he's missed the barrel today and done a good job. The 2-0 pitch to him is bounced out towards the left side of the infield. Charging is the shortstop, Bonner. The throw is going to take the first baseman, Alvarez, off the bag. And Pyle will be safe at first after the error. And Derek Cox will bat now with a runner aboard at first. Cox 0 for 2 today. Has hit the ball well to center field twice, but just hasn't landed for him yet. Hoping for better luck here with the runner on and 1 out in the 5th inning. Henley leads Cascade Christian 3-0. Sickler shakes off the first offering from Maben. Takes a look at the runner at first, now comes set. Smith comes back in to run for Pyle down there at first. Takes a decent lead as Sickler comes set. The pitch. That one will find the zone. The count is 0-1 against Derek. That pitch over the plate around the letters on the fringe of the zone, but called a strike against Derek. So he has to settle back in. Sickler delivers. Curveball blocked by Maben behind the plate. Nice job there by the young catcher for Cascade Christian. Trying to keep Smith where he is over there at first. The count is even, though. A ball and a strike to Derek Cox. Corbin Hamilton waits on deck for Henley. Sickler set, and the pitch is swung on and missed. Might have been a changeup, had Derek out in front, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes. Again, Coach Teeters down the line offering up the signs to the base runner, Smith at first, and also Cox, the batter, at the plate. Down in the count, a ball and 2 strikes. The offering from Sickler, a curveball. Cox fists it out to the middle of the infield. It drops, but Smith is going to be kind of caught in between there, not knowing to run or to go on a fly ball in the infield. He's thrown out at second, but aboard at first is Derek Cox now with 2 away. Tough spot for a base runner there as he is thrown out. And so Derek reaches on the fielder's choice, and that brings up Corbin Hamilton. Move over to first, and Cox is back safely. Hamilton was the guy who got the 2-out rally started in the 4th inning. He singled and would later come around to score. Before that, he walked in his only other at-bat. Here's the pitch to Hamilton. That pitch misses in on his hands. Throw down to first to try to get Derek, but he's back safely. The count's 1-0 to Corbin at the plate. Sickler, before coming set, once more takes a look at the runner. Derek, after he comes set, takes another half-step lead, and that pitch misses up high to Corbin Hamilton. Wind has picked up a little bit. Temperatures dropped a couple degrees here in Medford. Still a beautiful day, 68 degrees, but the wind blowing out to 10 miles an hour, and that's pretty much blowing in from right field. Strike delivered to Corbin Hamilton. The count now 2 balls and a strike to the Henley first baseman. Sun's been tucked behind the clouds for a moment, but now shining bright here in Medford. The 2-1 on the way to Hamilton is lined right back up the middle and a base hit. Cox round second, headed for third, and he will get in there. Runners at the corners, 2 outs for Carson Sims. Timeout and quick meeting between the catcher Maben and the pitcher Sickler gives us an opportunity to remind you that today's broadcast on mybasin.com brought to you in part by God's Gifts Photography. If you're a parent of a high school athlete tired of trying to take good photos and keep up with the action, that's all right. There is a solution, and that's God's Gifts Photography. They attend high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. You can search them up on Facebook at God's Gifts 2. And you can also look them up on their website. It's the same search into Google, God's Gifts 2. Look them up. Annalisa does a fantastic job with your high school athletes. First pitch on the way to Sims. He'll take a look at ball 1 as it misses wide. Sims bats in the top of the 5th inning with 2 outs. Derek Cox at third. Corbin Hamilton at first, and his team already up 3-0. Sickler, the pitcher for the Challengers, comes set and delivers the pitch to Sims. That one misses outside. Kicks off of the glove of the catcher, Mabin. Breaking for the plate and scoring is Derek Cox. And also advancing to second is Corbin Hamilton. It's a pass ball and scores a run. 4-0 Henley. And a runner in scoring position for Sims as he's ahead in the count 2-0. Still an RBI opportunity for the sophomore right fielder for the Hornets. Ryan Douglas is on deck. Pitch on the way. Looked at for ball 3. That pitch missed a little bit outside, below the knees for Sims, and so he'll get to take a look at a 3-0 pitch coming up here. Sickler set. Catcher Mabin sets up a target. Another pitch misses high and away, and Sims aboard on a 4-pitch walk. Puts 2 on and 2 out for Ryan Douglas. And Coach Schaefer looks like he may be making a move here. He calls time, heads out to the the mound. Let's see, is anyone moving up in the dugout for Cascade Christian? It looks like they may be. I'm going to find out for sure before we possibly head to break here. Let's see. It'll be Ryan Douglas to bat after Sims aboard on the walk. And we are going to see some changes here for Cascade Christian. 3 challengers head off the field here, so we're going to have, looks like, a few significant changes. We'll get them all squared away for you when we come back. It is the top of the 5th inning with 2 outs. Henley leads 4-0, and the Challengers have a new pitcher in just a minute. Back in a jiff on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
It starts to warm up outside, it's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Kyle's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Well, it's the top of the 5th inning in a 4-0 ball game in which Henley leads. New pitcher for the Challengers will be the right-hander Andy Alvarez. I believe the other change, let's see. Number 14, Wyatt Hurley, still at short. Grady Sickler has moved out to short. Let's see. Sickler at short. It looks like entering into the game was the freshman Blake Patero. He is at first. Let's see. I believe C.J. Bonner likely staying in the game. But I don't see him out there yet. I'm sure we'll get the official indication once Cascade Christian comes back around to bat. But Ryan Douglas will be the first task for Andy Alvarez coming out of the bullpen. For Alvarez this season, his 14th appearance and his 8th in a relief role this year. The first pitch to Douglas nearly hits him. He'll take a pitch, 1-0. Alvarez in 40 1/3 innings pitched has a 5-3 record and an ERA of 2.77. As Douglas awaits the 1-0 pitch. Here it is. Hit in the air, left field. That one is dropping, but on the run, Willard makes a catch to end the inning. Nice catch on the run for Willard on a ball that was diving, and that will end the inning. The Hornets are able to score 1 run on a base hit, and they leave 2 stranded. To the bottom of the 5th we go. Henley up 4-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
The pace and reach of social media,
The information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
mybasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Bottom of the fifth inning. And it'll be Andy Alvarez, Mikey Covey, and Taven Madden due up this half for the Challengers against Bo Pyle in a game in which Henley leads 4-0. Here's the pitch to Alvarez, misses high, 1-0. Alvarez coming in relief, started as the first baseman today for Cascade Christian and got the final out in relief in the top half of the fifth in for Grady Sickler. Here's a pop-up and out of play foul. The count is a ball and a strike to Alvarez, who is without an official at-bat today. He walked in the second inning. Pitch from Pyle. Roller out to short. Shively up with it. Has a bit of trouble with it at first, and actually Alvarez beats out the play, so Shively unable to make the play at short. Alvarez reaching on the air, and that'll bring up Mikey Covey. Covey is 0 for 1 today. He struck out in the second inning. Bats now with the runner on first. Curveball, chopper to third. Carpenter up with it. Throw on to second for 1. And that is going to be the only out that they get, as Covey was hustling down the baseline. They had no chance of getting him, so he'll reach on a fielder's choice. There is one out in the fifth inning, and here's Taven Madden. Madden 0 for 1 today. He struck out in the in the third inning. Runner on the move. The throw down is going to be late. Covey slides in safely. Showed off his wheels by beating out the back end of a double play, and then does it again by swiping second. And now for the first time today, the Challengers have a runner in scoring position in the bottom of the fifth inning. I believe that pitch missed to Madden, but that one is now going to miss below. The count is 1-1. Appreciate the clarification there, Blue. The count, a ball and a strike to Madden. Pyle with the delivery. That pitch misses low. Takini having to block it, and he calls time, going out to visit with Bo out there. The count will be 2 balls and a strike. And as they discuss things, we'll remind you that today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Gino's Cafe on East Main Street. They're open every morning at 6:30, serving their famous breakfast burritos. Those are served all day long, along with other menu items like burgers, monthly specials, and Italian favorites. You can order online right now at ilovegenos.com. Back in the action, it's a 2-1 count to Taven Madden with a runner aboard at second. It's Mikey Covey. Henley leads 4-0. Here's the pitch. Nice two-seamer in the zone there from Pyle. Way to find the outside part of the plate there for Bo. He's worked it well this season, but I'd say he's probably worked it the best all season today. As Pyle comes set with the 2-2. Pitch, a curveball. That one misses, but a good 2-strike pitch there from Bo. He's gone to that outside breaking ball a handful of times now against Cascade Christian. And, well, credit to the Challengers. They haven't chased it all that much. But when Pyle's able to throw it for a strike, it's frozen him up so far. Here's the full count pitch to Madden. Swung on and missed. Another strikeout for Pyle. Gives him 2 outs in this inning. And Nash Crisp to bat. Six strikeouts now for Bo. And this will bring up Nash Crisp. He is one of those strikeout casualties from back in the third inning. Pitch to Crisp. Misses below the knees. The count is 1-0. The Challengers have a runner at second in the person of Mikey Covey. He reached on a fielder's choice earlier this inning and stole second to get there. Derek Cox trying to keep him honest, but as Bo Pyle comes set, he returns home, playing straight away second base. Now the pitch home from Pyle is a breaking pitch that misses upstairs, and the count is 2-0. Challengers, as I stated, still looking for their first hit. What a time to come up with it here for the junior Nash Crisp. He takes a look at a ball low, the count 3-0. Now Pyle has walked a couple today, but like I said, has done a good job of missing challenger barrels and not throwing it over the middle of the plate. And the 3-0 misses high, if not just barely. In a 2-out walk delivered to Crisp, brings us back to the top of the order in Bryson Walker. Walker 0 for 2 today. He's grounded out to third both times. Bats here with 2 on and 2 out. His team down 4 in the bottom of the 5th inning as Pyle comes set. He delivers the pitch. That's a fastball that misses high. The count 1-0. Looking to get out of this inning. You'd like to try to have Bo finish this inning before you turn it over to anyone else. We'll check in on the pitch count for Bo here in just a minute, as he delivers what looked to be an off-speed pitch, still missed high. The count is 2-0. That last pitch was pitch number 76 for Bo this game, as he comes set with the 2-0. Kicks and delivers. That time he finds the zone. A fastball on the outer part of the plate. Battles back the count 2-1. Up next for Cascade Christian, if the inning continues, is C.J. Bonner. Pitch on the way. Looked at for a strike. A nice find there. Kind of the same location there for Bo, but I think it's the off-speed pitch that time. Count is even 2-2 to Bryson Walker. Small lead off of second for Covey as Pyle delivers the pitch. Fouled straight back. The count remains even at 2. Challengers, like I said, the number 2 scoring offense in the 3A classification, have yet to break through against Bo, but a good opportunity here for the leadoff hitter Walker. Down in the count 2-2. Looks at strike 3. The big bender froze him up, and that'll get Pyle out of the 5th inning. Going to the 6th next, where Henley leads 4-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home, I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Getting ready for the top of the 6th inning in a 4-0 ball game that the Hornets lead the Challengers for Henley so far today. 4 runs on 9 hits. 1 error for Henley, and they have left 7 runners on base. For the Challengers, no runs on no hits. They've committed 2 errors, and they have left 4 runners on base. Due up this half inning for the Hornets is going to be the top of their order. Mark Carpenter, Connor Shively, and Jacoby Tacchini for the Hornets, as again they lead 4-0. The pitch is popped foul, and the count is 0-1. Andy Alvarez still on the hill for Cascade Christian, now into his second inning of relief after coming in for Grady Sickler. We'll close the book on Sickler here in just a moment. Before we'll get the 0-1 pitch to Carpenter. That one dips below the zone. The count, a ball and a strike. Sickler exited the game after 4 2/3 innings, gave up 9 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. He walked 3 and struck out 1. Pitch on the way to Carpenter. He jumps all over a high fastball and gives it a ride to deep right field. Back near the wall is Madden. He makes the catch. And that will be a loud out number 1. And that's kind of what I've talked about for Carpenter. Unfortunately, these last couple of games just absolutely gave that ball a ride, but unfortunately landed into the leather of the right fielder. And so now with 1 away, in steps Connor Shively. Shively is 2 for 3 today, as he takes a first pitch wide, 1-0. When he grounded out in the first inning, that ended a streak of 13 straight trips to first base for Shively. But he's followed that up with a couple of base hits since then, so all things considered, Shively still humming right along. And here he hits a line drive the opposite way. That's down the gap in the left center field side. Shively, he's going to dig for 2. The throw in is not going to get there. Shively, a 1-out double in the top of the 6th inning. Jacoby Tacchini batting now for the Hornets. Tacchini 1 for 3 today. He singled in the first and has flown out and grounded out since. But an RBI opportunity for the team leader in runs batted in. Haven't heard about the Skyline Conference All-League considerations yet, but I got to imagine at the catcher position, Jacoby Tacchini's got to be at the top of that list. As he takes strike 1 here, the count 0-1. You've seen it in previous years where freshmen just don't get the recognition that they sometimes deserve in baseball, but as Tacchini awaits the 0-1, there has been a recent example of a freshman making some serious headlines at Henley. Tacchini grounds one over to third. Hurley is up with it. He'll look Shively back to second before throwing on to first and recording the out for Tacchini. Max Price will bat now with 2 away, and a runner at second. Max Price is 0 for 3 today. What I was saying was, and kind of a different way of looking at things, typically freshmen left off of all league considerations just for the fact that they are a year 1 player. But, well, Henley, like I said, has had another freshman make headlines earlier this season when freshman girls basketball player Michaela Schroeder was named not only first team all-league, but player of the year in the conference. First pitch swinging for Max Price, fly ball behind first. We'll hold that thought, or maybe just end it there, as that will end the inning. The Hornets get a base hit, a double from Shively, but they can't convert it into any runs. They'll take a 4-0 lead to the bottom of the 6th. Back after this on mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between. We keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Bottom of the 6th inning, and it is 2, 3, and 4 due up for Cascade Christian in this half as Bo Pyle still cruising along out there on the mound. He will face C.J. Bonner, Grady Sickler, and Wyatt Hurley this half for the Challengers. As C.J. Bonner settles in, he is 0 for 2 today with a ground out and a fly out. First pitch to him here is popped up and looks out of play, and the count is 0-1 to C.J. Bonner. Son of Challengers assistant coach Clark Bonner. Appreciate Coach Bonner for talking with me a bit before the game today. Line drive, left center field, and that'll get down. Could be extra bases for Bonner as it rolls to the fence. Bonner is having to hustle to get to second. The throw there is not going to be in time. Bonner took a slow time rounding first before deciding I should probably hustle to second. Barely got in there for the double, but he is in there for the first hit of the day for the Challengers, and it's a runner in scoring position. Not sure if Bonner might have got hurt maybe running first because he's being subbed out right now. And subbing in for him to run on the base pads is Channing Driscoll, the freshman. Number 6, Channing Driscoll there at second base, and Grady Sickler to bat now for the Challengers. Pyle now contending with a runner in scoring position. Only the second time he's had to do that today. And here's a ground ball to Shively at short. This time fields it cleanly, makes the throw, and that'll be the first out in the 6th inning. Wyatt Hurley batting now for Cascade Christian. Hurley 0 for 1 today. He struck out in the 2nd and walked in the 4th. Bats here with a runner aboard at second. It's Driscoll. The pitch is going to miss low. The count is 1-0. The other play-in games in the 4A classification started about an hour ago. No score update yet, but it'll help decide who Henley is going to face in the first round on May 27th. As that pitch swung on and missed, the count 1-1. An elevated fastball. Hurley chased it. Phoenix is playing North Bend today. Staten plays Marshfield tomorrow. And a couple other games I'll rattle off to you here in just a minute as that pitch misses low. The count is now 2-1. You also have Baker, Powder Valley playing Gladstone today, and North Marion taking on St. Helens in the play-in round. Pitch is hit towards the left side of the infield. Shively backhands it. Has to get all of his weight behind that throw, and Corbin Hamilton plays it on a hop for the second out. Nice play all around, from the grab for Shively to the throw to the pick at first from Hamilton. It's a 6-3 put out in the book, but a nice overall play brings up Carson Willard. Now on that play, the runner who was at second, Driscoll, advanced to third. And so now just 90 feet away from scoring for the all-league pick, Carson Willard. Here's the pitch. It's fouled off. Count is 0-1. Willard is senior, honored earlier before the game, not only for his, it being senior day, but he was also the ultimate challenger this season. May have to hold that thought. Ground ball out to second. Cox up with it. Nice play and a nice throw on to first will end the inning. And hold that thought about Willard as we go to the top of the 7th. Henley leads 4-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Bo Pyle, Derek Cox, and Corbin Hamilton due up in the top of the 7th inning for Henley as they lead Cascade Christian 4-0. Henley looking to wrap this one up. Their focus will turn to May 27th in the opening round of the OSAA On Point Community Credit Union 4A State Baseball Playoffs. We'll have your exclusive coverage right here on mybasin.com and 104.3 and 960 Sports, not only for the baseball game, which will be played May 27th, but for the softball game as well, as the Henley Lady Hornets clinched the Skyline Conference back on Monday for the 16th consecutive season. Just an astounding run for the Hornets softball program. Bo Pyle steps in. First pitch, swinging, high fly ball, left field. Willard moving back underneath it, and he will make the catch near the big black wall back there. And one pitch and one away in the 7th, and that will bring up Derek Cox. Derek is 0 for 3 today, a couple of flyouts to center field. He did reach on a fielder's choice and score in the 5th inning. That's now with the bases empty and one away. Top of the 7th inning, his team leads by 4. First pitch nearly got him, but he ducks out of the way, and the count is 1-0. Looking in is the pitcher Alvarez, coming in relief of Grady Sickler a few innings ago, has thrown well in the limited time that we've seen him so far as he misses below the knees there to Derek, the count 2-0. And to be fair to Grady Sickler, he pitched well for the time that we saw him as well. That 4th inning sort of got away from him with a 2-out rally, but outside of that specific instance, he threw well today too. Line drive left center field. That one is going to be off the wall and down for extra bases. Cox digging for 2. He will stay there, and a 1-out double for the Henley freshman brings up Corbin Hamilton. Hamilton is 2 for 2 today, but he's reached base 3 times. He walked in the 2nd, and Singleton scored in the 4th. Singleton was left stranded in the 5th, but an RBI opportunity here to try to add a little bit of insurance in the 7th inning for the Hornets. First pitch on the way to Hamilton. Hit the other way in the air right field. Madden comes in to make the catch. Derek tagging from 2nd, and he will slide into 3rd safely. And so now with 2 outs, there's a runner at 3rd for Carson Sims. Sims is 1 for 2 today. He reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd, singled and scored in the 4th, and walked and was left stranded in the 5th inning. An RBI opportunity for him here, trying to drive across Derek Cox, who got on base after the 1-out double. Pitch on the way. Got him off the inside, popped it up right behind home. Tough play for the catcher to make, and he's unable to make it. That's just a hard play to make for a catcher. And so it'll fall harmlessly to the turf in an 0-1 count now to Sims. Give Maben a moment to reshape his catcher's gear out there. Looks like he's got some kind of earpiece, something or other. Maybe they've got the Major League pitch communication thing where you hit the numbers on the shin guard. Not sure, but some kind of microphone in there for the catcher Maben. He's got an earpiece in as he back behind the plate for the 0-1. This one, an elevated fastball. Sims pops it up towards 2nd. Walker will make the catch and end the inning. 1 base hit in the 7th for Henley, but they're unable to make anything of it. A double from Derek Cox. He'll be left stranded out there, but Henley will take a 4-0 lead to this bottom of the 7th. 104.3 and 960 Sports.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers. which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Getting ready for the top of the 7th inning from field number 9 at Lithium Driveway Fields in Medford, Oregon, as the Hornets lead the Cascade Christian Challengers 4-0. It'll be Andy Alvarez, Mike Covey, and Taven Madden due up this half for Cascade Christian as they look to avoid the shutout and come back against Henley, down 4 in this inning. Alvarez getting ready to step in against Pyle. First pitch swinging, a fly ball to right center field. Looks playable for Price. The center fielder will move over and make the catch. 1 pitch and 1 away in the 7th. So bring up Mike Covey. He is 0 for 2 today. Covey, the designated hitter, struck out in the 3rd inning. And he reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th. Right-handed bat getting his 3rd look at Pyle today. Here's the delivery from Bo. Fastball misses upstairs. The count is 1-0. Pitch on the way. Looked at for a strike. The count is even now at 1-1 to Mike Covey. On deck is Taven Madden for the Challengers as Pyle readies for the 1-1. Chases a slider dipped out of the zone, and the count is 1-2. Pyle doesn't often go to the slider. He's typically a curveball kind of guy, but he'll get you chasing that slider every so often. Here's a curveball that's rolled back out to short. Shively charging, up with it. The throw is not in time, and an infield single for Mike Covey will put a runner on with 1 out. And it actually won't be Madden. It'll be Seth Scanglione, the sophomore, will be batting now. First we've seen of Scanglione today. First pitch swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. Try to take a look at the numbers for Scanglione on the season here in just a moment as the pitch is taken for a strike. 0-1. Bats .222 on the season for Cascade Christian. Has as many extra base hits as he does singles this season. 4 singles and 4 doubles in 8 hits on the season for the sophomore Scanglione. In an 0-2 count here, he will look at ball 1. A pitch over the plate must have been low. The count is 1-2 with Nash Crisp on deck. Pyle set, checks the runner at first before delivering the 1-2. Pitch misses inside. The count is now 2-2. Pyle trying to jam Scanglione, but he backs up and stays alive in this at-bat. Pyle with the 2-2. Line drive to right field and a base hit. We'll put 2 on with 1 out. Nash Crisp batting now for the Challengers with 2 on and 1 away. Crisp is 0 for 1 today. Struck out in the 3rd and walked in the 5th. Just looking to get on base for the top of the Challengers order, which is due up next. And with 1 away, the tying run is in the on-deck circle. Here's the pitch. This is popped up out of play behind third. Carpenter might have a chance. He just runs out of room down there. And the count is 0-1. Like I said, Bryson Walker is on deck for Cascade Christian. Nash Crisp on the season for the Challengers is batting 175 at the bottom of the order. Here he takes a curveball, rolls it down the first base line. Hamilton fields it. He will apply the tag at first. And the runner is out. Either he applied the tag or ran out of the base path. Regardless, Crisp is out, but both runners advance. 2 in scoring position now for Bryson Walker and 2 away in the inning. Walker today is 0 for 3, and it comes down to this for Cascade Christian, down to their final out. Pyle will now pitch out of the windup with a runner on third, and here's a ground ball to third. Carpenter up with it, throw on to Hamilton, and that is the ball game. The Hornets hand the challengers their first shutout loss since the 2023 state championship game and win this one 4-0. We'll be back to recap it for you after this as we continue your coverage of Henley baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and little league teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account to retirement planning and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
MyBasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
This one is final from field number 9 at Lithium Driveway Field in Medford, Oregon. The Henley Hornets pick up a win 4-0 against the Cascade Christian Challengers. For Henley today, 4 runs on 11 hits, 1 error, and they leave 9 runners on base. For Cascade Christian, no runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and they left 7 runners on base. Bo Pyle going for the complete game in the win, giving the Challengers their first shutout loss since they lost 3-0 to Banks in the 2023 state championship game. Henley pitching was phenomenal today. Give you the final line on the winning pitcher today, Bo Pyle, who pitched all 7 innings, giving up just 3 hits, no runs. He walked 3 and struck out 7. The losing pitcher today is Grady Sickler, who worked 4 2/3 innings, gave up 9 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. He walked 3 and struck out 1. Time to pick a Pacific Power play of the day today, and a lot of just routine baseball being played today. Henley only had a couple of extra base hits. Neither of them panned out into anything, but I'm going to go ahead and say Ryan Douglas, an RBI single in the 4th inning, knocked in a run that started the 3-run rally for Henley in that inning. Got started in that inning by Corbin Hamilton and Carson Sims having back-to-back base hits, but it was Ryan Douglas who actually got the knock that started scoring those guys in. And for that, Ryan Douglas, I will go ahead and give you my Pacific Power play of the game. A couple other notables for Henley. Connor Shively was 3 for 4. Jacoby Dakini was 1 for 4 today, along with Bo Pyle. Derek Cox, like I said, 1 for 4 with a run scored and a double. Corbin Hamilton was 2 for 3 with a run scored today. Carson Sims, 1 for 3 with a run scored. Ryan Douglas, 2 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. For Cascade Christian, 3 guys with a couple of base hits. C.J. Bonner had the only extra base hit of the day. He finished 1 for 3. Mabin finished 1 for 3, and Scaglione finished 1 for 1 for the Challengers. With this win for Henley, they improve on the season to 22-3, and they will carry an 8-game winning streak into the first round of the playoffs on May 27th. For Cascade Christian, this loss puts them at 21-6. And they will head to the first round, or likely the second round, of the 3A playoffs, which will be played on May 28th. Our next coverage will be May 27th as Henley hosts the opening round of the OSAA 16-team playoffs. But until then, I'd like to thank you for joining me today and thank everyone who made today's broadcast possible. Both head coaches, they'd be Kevin Schaefer for the Challengers and Sean Teeters for the Hornets. Of course, the athletic director here, Nate Maben, for making sure I had somewhere to sit here at field number 9. And, of course, thank you for joining us today. Without you, I would just be a guy talking to myself behind home plate. Also want to thank Rob Sims today, the official scorer for the Hornets, making sure I know what I'm talking about here behind the dish. Once again, the final score for you. Henley defeats the Cascade Christian Challengers 4-0 and will carry their 8-game win streak to the first round of the playoffs. But until then, my name is Josh Eldridge, saying so long and good night from field number 9 at Lithia and Driveway Fields in Medford, Oregon. So long, everybody.